Well, you guys wanted more arcade games, and I'm all about giving the people what they want. Now, normally when someone mentions Battletoads, they think of the 1991 title released for the NES. My brother and I happened to get this one for Christmas, and we spent a lot of time playing it. Mostly because of that crazy, if you don't beat the game, you don't get a new one rule. Now, all the frustration with the difficulty with this game is more than justified. That being said, my brother and I did beat this game without a Game Genie. And like I said, I pretty much guarantee that's because of the no new video games until you beat the old one rule. It's amazing what can motivate you, right? But we're not here to talk about that version. No. We're here to talk about the arcade version. I was actually unaware that there was a Battletoads arcade game until just a few years ago. And honestly, I was really pleasantly surprised to find out that there was one. I've always enjoyed the Battletoads games, and well, this just was icing on the cake. So let's kind of kick it off. The story here seems to be a slight departure from the NES title. Who cares about a story? I sure don't. When you take this game in comparison to the others, the most glaring difference is the violence. This game is much more graphic than the Nintendo and even the Genesis version. I mean, it is graphic, and that's fun. The violence is only aided by the very nice graphics. And I mean like graphics, like pictures and stuff, not like graphic violence, like graphics. You know graphics. You guys know what graphics are. It's pretty clear what kind of violent acts are being performed. You know, punches, kicks, and this. Yeah, that's exactly what you thought it was. Punch in the nuts. So throughout the game, it's clear that every time you do a power move, it's very, very clear that some serious damage is being inflicted. Be it crushing enemies into a pile of bones or spattering blood all over the place. Carnage abounds. Every character looks fantastic and has an obvious personality that is conveyed through their design. And when I saw all the characters, and I mean all the characters, not just the Toads, it was very clear that some attention had been paid to the details in this game. The animation is super nice, and the little extras like stars around a stunned enemy's head really give this game a little extra something. But graphics don't end with the characters, there's also the levels, of course. Every level in this game looks great. I especially appreciate the animated elements in the background and a lot of nice scrolling effects. Honestly, the visual appeal is stellar. So what about the gameplay? Well, Battletoads is obviously a beat 'em up, so you just move through the level, kick the out of everybody you meet until you get to the level boss and you kick the out of him. Being that the game already had a console counterpart, you see a lot of the elements from that version echoed in the arcade version. For instance, the power moves that you're going to pull off when you beat an enemy finally are pretty much the exact same moves you'd see in the NES version. Honestly, the only difference is that they're much more polished graphically. So in addition to the moves and the animation, there's also been some of the levels that have been kind of echoed in the arcade version. For those of you that have played the NES version, you may recall that there is a level that you're descending down a shaft of some kind that's supposed to be a mile long on a rope. Well, while you're going down that, you can turn into a wrecking ball and just crush any enemy that you come across. Well, the arcade version has a similar level. This time, no rope, but you do use a jetpack. And jetpacks make everything better, much better. Now, just like before, you don't necessarily turn into a wrecking ball, but you kind of turn into a giant boulder and crush enemies all over the screen. Once again, you just see something that's echoed from the console version. Now, I know that overall I said the game was a beat 'em up, but the final level makes a slight departure. It kind of becomes a shooter level. In the final level, whatever Webtoad hero you have chosen has to square off against the Dark Queen's Robo-Manus. That is a mouthful. So you jet off in your little space cart of some type with your machine gun of some type to fight the big bad guy. Anyway, the machine gun itself, you can fire in 360 degrees, and along the way you're going to get different power-ups to boost the power of your machine gun. Now this level is not easy. If someone had happened to get to this level back in the day, they'd have blown through a lot of change to finish it. So let's talk audio. I personally love the sound effects here. Lots of nice crunches and splats. Basically everything you'd want to hear in an over-the-top beat-em-up game that basically features mutated frog heroes and a smoking hot enemy. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that up here for just a second. The music is also a big hit with me. Heck, I love the music on the Nintendo version. So how could I not like this? Especially with the hair metal, guitar-driven style, metal, rock and roll theme. Everything about that screams awesome. Look, if you ever get a chance to play Battletoads in an arcade, do it. It's a gem of an arcade beat-em-up that will not disappoint. Well guys, that's it for this edition for Arcade Overview. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.